Amara stood outside the towering wrought iron gates, the cold rain soaking through her thin cardigan and chilling her to the bone. In her arms, she cradled a tiny shivering bundle, her 3-week-old son, Kofi. The golden lights of the Vane mansion mocked her from the top of the hill, a place she had called home until an hour ago. Suddenly, the heavy gates groaned open, just enough for Julian to step out into the storm. He didn't offer an umbrella. He only offered a look of pure disgust and cold indifference. He threw a crumpled envelope at her feet, the white paper instantly turning gray in the thick mud. "The DNA results are in, Amara," he spat, his voice trembling with a rage fueled by his mother's whispers. "You thought you could trap a billionaire with a stray child? My mother was right about you from the start. You're nothing but a gold digger from the slums, and I was a fool to ever let you in. That child isn't mine, and I never want to see either of you near my property again." Before Amara could even part her lips to defend her honor, the gates slammed shut with a deafening metallic clang. The sound echoed like a gunshot through the empty street, leaving her in total darkness. She was alone, penniless, and discarded by the man she had loved with all her heart and soul. But as she picked up the soaked envelope, a cold, hard resolve began to replace the sorrow in her chest. Julian didn't know that by throwing her out, he had just declared war on a woman of royal blood. He had no idea that her true lineage was more powerful than his wildest, most ambitious dreams. Before we continue with this incredible story of betrayal and royal revenge, I want to take a moment to welcome you all. Who are you, and where are you watching from today? I am truly curious to know your story. Drop your city and country in the comments below. I love seeing how far our community reaches across the globe. Also, if you enjoy stories about justice and unexpected twists, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button right now. It really helps us bring more of these powerful stories to you every single day. Now let's see what happened when the truth finally came to light and the tables turned. The rain continued to fall as Amara walked toward the bus station, her mind racing back to the past. She remembered the moment she first met Julian Vane at a high-end charity gala. She had been a simple waitress, and he was the charming heir to a massive real estate empire. He had told her he loved her for her spirit, her kindness, and her natural, radiant beauty. He claimed that her background didn't matter to him, promising to protect her forever. They had married in a private ceremony, much to the horror of Julian's mother, Victoria. Victoria Vane was a woman who bled ice water and cared only for the purity of the Vane brand. To her, Amara was a stain on their prestigious name, a dark-skinned outsider who didn't belong. From the moment Amara moved into the mansion, Victoria had waged a silent war of psychological terror. She constantly reminded Amara that she was less than and merely a temporary fixture in their lives. When Amara fell pregnant, Victoria's hatred reached a dangerous and desperate boiling point. She knew that a child would solidify Amara's place in the family fortune forever. So she waited, she watched, and when the baby was born, she prepared her final strike. Victoria used her vast wealth to bribe a corrupt lab technician to falsify the paternity test results. She presented the fake documents to Julian, whispering lies about Amara's secret life. Julian, a man whose ego was as large as his bank account, chose to believe his mother over his wife. He didn't even look at the baby's face. He only saw the deception Victoria had carefully crafted. For weeks after the eviction, Amara struggled in a cramped one-bedroom apartment in the city's roughest part. She worked cleaning floors until her hands bled, all to keep little Kofi fed and warm. But fate has a strange way of balancing the scales when the innocent are wronged. One afternoon, a loud knock came at her door, echoing through the small, empty hallway. Standing there was a man in a sharp charcoal gray suit, flanked by 2 formidable security guards. He introduced himself as Mr. Adebayo, the chief legal counsel for the prestigious Osi estate. Amara's heart skipped a beat as she recognized the name of the father she had never known. Mr. Adebayo explained that her father, a man her mother had fled from years ago, had passed away. He wasn't just a businessman. He was the king of a resource-rich territory in West Africa. He was a sovereign ruler of a land that held the world's largest deposits of rare earth minerals. As his only child, Amara was the sole heir to a kingdom and a fortune valued at $10 billion. The transition was a whirlwind of private jets, legal documents, and newfound authority. Within days, Amara was flown to a private estate where she began to embrace her true reality. She wasn't just a mother or a former waitress anymore. She was a powerful Queen-Regent. But while she embraced her heritage, she did not forget the man who left her in the rain. She spent months learning the intricacies of global finance and corporate warfare. Meanwhile, her son, the young prince, grew stronger under the care of the world's best doctors. Back in the city, the Vane empire was crumbling under the weight of Julian's poor decisions. Without Amara's grounding influence, Julian had become reckless and arrogant in his dealings. He made bad investments, and Victoria's expensive tastes were draining their remaining liquid assets. Their only hope was a mysterious investment group known as the Black Star Syndicate. Julian had spent weeks begging for a meeting with the syndicate's elusive and powerful CEO. Finally, the call came, setting a meeting at the syndicate's towering glass headquarters. Julian and Victoria arrived dressed in their finest, putting on a front of power they no longer held. They were led into a massive boardroom where a woman sat with her back turned to them. Julian cleared his throat, desperately pitching his legacy brand to the silent figure. The chair spun around slowly, and Julian's words died in his throat as he turned pale. Sitting there in royal purple and shimmering diamonds was the woman he had discarded. Amara looked at him with cold eyes, holding the true DNA results and the keys to his downfall. "I didn't just buy your debt, Julian," she said firmly. "I bought your entire future." Julian fell to his knees, begging for a mercy he had never shown to his own wife and son. But Amara was no longer the victim. She was the queen, and her reign had just begun. Thank you so much for watching this story to the end. It just goes to show that you should never judge someone by where they start, because you never know where they might finish. If you loved seeing Amara get her revenge and claim her throne, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and give this video a big thumbs up. It means the world to us and helps us keep telling these stories of triumph and justice. Until next time, stay strong and keep watching.